Everybody has one podcast. We are back.
Yes.
Another week. So much going on in the world of sports. So little time to discuss it all. I like to start the show the same way each week, man. Giving a shout out to the Everybody Has One family for another great week of engagement, man. I didn't even check the number of views that we got on the YouTube channel, man. I'm gonna do that now. Got 5,000 views on the YouTube channel. Got tens of thousands of views on Instagram again. All kinds of comments, likes, thousands and thousands of comments and likes, and plenty of engagement, lots of shares. So we appreciate everybody for tapping in with us this week. Make sure you continue to like, share, and subscribe. That's Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. That's Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's TikTok, that's Twitch, and that's Threads. The audio version of the podcast is also available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And when you subscribe on YouTube, make sure that you hit that bell notification so that you are notified every time that we go live and post new content. And when you hit that bell notification, make sure that you hit all so that you get a notification every single time we post new content, new shorts, new videos, and, of course, every single time we go live, which is every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or as close as we can get to it, man. Thank y'all so very much for all of the great engagement and for continuing to tap in with us. None of this is possible without the Everybody Has One family. But without further ado, man, let's get into our topics, man, because we have many and there's a lot to discuss. March Madness, Final Four and championship game was played over the weekend. UConn topped Illinois 71-62. Michigan rolled Arizona in a wire-to-wire annihilation, 91-73. We both believe that that was essentially the national championship game. Michigan won in dominant fashion. And on that note, congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines men's basketball team. They defeated UConn on Monday night by a score of 69-63, led by junior point guard Elliot Cadeau with 19 points. Cadeau will go on to win the tournament most outstanding player. The title is Michigan's first since 1989, second in program history. Yaxel Lindeborg also fought through a left knee and ankle sprain to score 13 points. This marks the Big Ten's first men's national basketball title since 2000, man. So congratulations to the Wolverines, man. Hail to the victors and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So let me ask the people's champ, man. Where does this Michigan Wolverines team rank among the great teams in college basketball history? And how do you rate the overall entertainment value of the tournament in general? What say the people's champ?
Well, I mean, first off, congratulations to the Wolverines, man. That was awesome.
Absolutely. Great run, too. Outstanding run.
I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Around probably about mid-January, you could kind of see that this team was legit and could compete seriously, be a contender for the national championship with Arizona as well.
Yeah, I believe I said in December they were one of the two best teams in college basketball.
And it was just good to see that they were able to seal the deal. Wow, in terms of where they rank all time in terms of college teams, like for me, it may be a little early to kind of say that because
it is hard to say.
Maybe a little too early removed from the win to reflect on it. But in terms of where they rank among Michigan teams, man, it's tough because to beat that Arizona team the way that they did, dude, that was impressive. I would have to say, man, I look back at.
I help you. That was the best team Michigan has ever put out on the floor.
Yeah, I said I actually think it's one of the best college basketball teams ever assembled. I actually, that's in my notes.
I mean,
One of the things I was gonna ask y'all, I wasn't gonna ask y'all all the time because that's such a big compass
It is.
to
It
put
is.
a net over. But I was gonna ask y'all about the last since 2000. Where do they rank?
I think they one of the best basketball teams, college basketball teams ever assembled.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I think that it's going to take. I agree with the People's Champ when he says it's going to take time for that to shake out. Because I think it's hard to quantify immediately in the immediate aftermath. You're going to have to see how the players progress, how they develop. They have a freshman on the team.
Right,
You have to see where he goes and how he develops.
and I think the key word there is assembled
Right.
with this team.
Yes, absolutely.
Whereas it's different with the '89 team.
It is. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that, you know, I mean, it was Frieder's guys.
Yeah.
You know that Fisher was able to cross the finish line with, but you know they were Michigan guys all the way throughout the process, and you know if you were around alive at that time,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of holds a little more value. At least it does to me. Like
Oh,
I remember that overtime game against Seton Hall. Watched it with my sister.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was. Wow, I think that game was over with. It was like past 11:30. Like I shouldn't have been up, but I mean, you know, when you got older siblings, that kind of thing kind of rolls in your favor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, when you say assembled,
Right.
You know, yeah. I mean, like that's definitely how you do it.
Yeah, no, that was a great team.
When you're talking this new era of collegiate sports and the tools that are available to especially available to the higher end brands.
Of course,
when you're talking universities.
Yeah, no doubt. Large endowments, plenty of money. The programs have a lot of resources.
And it's an example where you take a guy like a Dusty May that was laying in the cut down at FAU. Like, dude, if I get a shot at one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And I can get the cupboard that I want, stocked and loaded the way I need it, and whatever I put on the grocery list, I get a blank, I get the black card to get.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna set this mofo off, and he shows you 2 years in.
It's like I said in the chat on Monday night. Dusty May to me is the basketball version of this Kurt Cignetti.
Yeah,
Cignetti. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was a great comp, and that's what I said in the chat. I'm like, that's a great comp, nephew.
He did in 2 years what everyone's been waiting like a decade for what we thought Shaka Smart was going to do.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right.
So I got 2 questions in the chat.
Go ahead.
Alex Alberto in the chat first off asks about Mara, if y'all think he a top 8-9 NBA draft pick, and then his second question is, are any of the 2026 Michigan players better than Glenn Rice?
That's a great question. And like I said, in the immediate aftermath, it's very, very difficult to make that determination. I mean, like my knee-jerk reaction is to say probably not.
To the second part?
To the Glenn Rice question.
Yeah, I'm like, man, whoa.
Probably not.
Whoa, nah.
I mean,
man,
listen, Trey
Glenn
McKinney
Rice was a cold piece of
yes,
work,
he was.
dog.
But Trey McKinney, I think that he's got potential to be really good. Like there's so much untapped potential with him that you just don't know how that's gonna shake out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's like Monday is like a lot of the things that I think that we had said once over the past season, whether we said it off here or on here, has came to fruition. Because I remember saying early in the season, I'm like, if once Trey get acclimated to the team, it's gonna get spooky.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when at the end of the year, when they needed him to bring something to the team the most, he was able to do that.
Yeah, especially when LJ went down too.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm like, Trey McKinney is he different. Like he got a different kind of explosiveness, different kind of athleticism. So like I want to see how he develops. He could end up being one of those type of guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I mean,
But
Glenn
my
Rice,
knee jerk, that's why I said my knee jerk reaction is to be like, no.
but to the Mara question, top 8.
I don't know. Now in this draft, my knee jerk reaction to that is also to say no. It's a lot of talent in this draft.
Well, yeah, it is.
Could he be a lottery pick? Maybe.
That was going to be the next thing I said. Top 8, I don't know, but lottery, I think
it's possible.
I think this tournament run, and depending on what he does
at the combine, and
in terms of a lot of because he's shown to me that he can move laterally.
Sure. Yep.
I think
he's very long.
With him, with a lot of guys with that stature, it's the strength thing.
Yes.
But in terms of like skill wise,
yeah, he's got some stuff on board.
He's great around the basket.
He is.
He can finish with either hand. Has great hands.
Right.
He's a good passer. He's a great. There's a lot to like.
Yeah.
There's a lot that needs work, and then a lot of times what you worry about, of course, with the NBA, that you come in, you get fast tracked, or as we've been talking about, you don't get taught.
Yeah. And that's the thing. So like with his size, like that, like the NBA with really big guys like him that have stayed around, because you think of Zach Edey, but Zach Edey was like National Player of the Year, and
right.
He had a lot of fanfare. Traditional bigs like that, again,
Bigger
I
base too.
Yes, but I also think that the NBA is warming back up to bigger guys like that.
I agree.
And I think he's a really good defender. I think his defense is more of an asset.
Yes.
Early than his offense. So, I think somebody might see that and say, we like what he brings defensively and as a rim protector. Yeah, and I agree with you. He can move. He's not a stiff. So, could he be a lottery pick? Yes. Top 8 or 9 this year, I just think it's just too many guys that are good this year. This is a really deep draft full of really good players. So, do I see him creeping into the top 8 or 9? Again, my initial reaction would just be no.
But I think he has put himself solidly into the lottery.
Yeah, definitely. I think he could definitely be a lottery pick.
But again, a workout and a scout, and some reports.
Somebody might fall in love with him, man.
Listen, it could change everything. Because they could have a piece, on that team that they think maybe unlocks him, or
correct,
or enhances him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like a pick and roll lob type threat. Like a Clint Capella, James Harden kind of combination. Somebody might foresee something like that. So yeah, you never know what a scout is looking for. What else? You got anything else, Neff?
I just one question for Lance. So from what I seen, McKinley and Cadeau's already said they're coming back next season. What do you think, Dusty May, that staff, what do you think the team needs to do in order to give themselves the best chance of repeating next season?
Throw some money at Juke Harris. That'd be nice. Because, you need something to replace what you're going to lose from Yaxel.
Oh, yeah.
And, Juke's similar in size, 6'7". He shoots a high clip from 3. If he can just buy in, because what really separated this Michigan team was the versatility and size defensively.
Yes.
They were looking like the Iguodala, Barbosa, Sean Livingston
Warriors.
You know what I mean? Where they could just kind of just switch everything type of deal.
Great athleticism on the wing, and
it's like, they didn't have to gamble a lot. They were just athletic enough to stay there in front of you. You know what I mean? Or just switch on a string. So, but if they could add someone like that, let's see what they do with the McCoy kid. See how he pans out. We're going to have to recruit some bigs.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll be a problem.
No. Not after this.
I don't think that'll be a problem. But we're looking, we're looking at terms of what'll be left. We'll be lock, stock in terms of the guards. We have to wonder what Mo Johnson's going to do. You'll have LJ K-Ston coming back healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another combo guard.
Yep.
So, the talent will be there.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just a matter, again, of the buy-in and then the chemistry.
Yeah.
And then, the luck that comes with
yeah, because I definitely think that the men's NCAA basketball national, that's the hardest championship to win by far, because it doesn't matter how good your team. 5 minutes of bad basketball could cost you everything.
Yeah.
And I thought Michigan not only was, again, one of the best 2 teams all year, but they played the best ball all year. And they had the most ways that they could beat you. Like they had multiple ways because they was 0 for 8 from 3 in the first half, and it didn't matter. They just still was in control of the game.
To your point, it seems like with college basketball, March Madness, more than except from, I would say, maybe latter playoff football.
Yeah.
Where when momentum swings,
yes,
dog, it swings.
Yes.
Like almost to the point where you're done.
Yeah, I know.
Like if you let it go, like if you can't reel that thing back in when the run's coming, it's a wrap.
Yeah. They did a great job of not getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, and it's like you feel it through the the TV almost. Like you look at the what was that? The UConn Duke.
Yeah.
Back to that was like all momentum.
Yep.
And you just kind of kept seeing it coming. It's almost like you're looking up at a mountain and the snowballs just coming in. Your feet's
and you know what? And the
ground.
difference was, to me, is that Michigan had upperclassmen and Duke had kids.
Yeah. And
Duke succumbed because they didn't have the upperclassmen, and Michigan had maturity.
No matter how highly touted.
Yep. They had maturity, and it was like, nah, we know what to do.
Yep.
We gonna hold them off. So no, but the second question, the overall entertainment value of this tournament.
Oh man.
What do you say?
March Madness always delivers.
You think?
But this year, you know what? I think we all kind of seen it coming. We were all anticipating, throughout the college basketball season, man, this tournament is going to be crazy. Like this tournament, I would say the only letdown is that we didn't get to see Caleb Wilson.
Now, here's what I will say.
The player, to me, that was like the most glaring letdown to me. I'd have loved to see a kid of his caliber and intensity, get to play on the March Madness stage.
Now, here's what I'll say to the People's Champ.
Okay.
If my team had mopped up, 5 straight opponents by 18 or more, I'd probably be like, this is the greatest, most entertaining tournament.
I didn't say greatest, most entertaining.
No, but I'm going to throw cold water on the entertainment value aspect because Michigan was great. So, but with respect to the entertainment value, it's probably one of the least entertaining tournaments in a while. And
really?
Yes, because the best teams were very dominant.
Okay, well that's fair.
So Arizona, up until they played Michigan, they basically beat the brakes off everybody. So just the final 4 teams, other than UConn, Illinois 4 straight double-digit wins, Michigan 5 straight double-digit wins, including 4 by 18 or more. Arizona, stop me if you heard this one before, 4 straight double-digit wins, 3 by 20 or more, all by at least 15. So yeah, I mean that to me. Like the best teams was just so much better than everybody else.
But I mean, but with Arizona and Michigan specifically, they were doing that all year.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah,
they were far and away the best teams.
Well, that was and that's my thing. I'm like, I think the best teams were just so much better this year in particular. It was like,
but I mean, you had a 1 seed get popped in the first weekend.
Well, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Like Florida went home.
That was a Cinderella. Yeah, that was because Iowa made a nice little deep run.
Like Duke didn't make it out. They almost got popped by Siena.
They didn't.
I mean,
I thought, like I said, I think the UConn played good games. They basically played good games all the way through. So that was entertaining. That was like a little entertaining leg. But the good teams smacked up everybody. Like you know what I'm saying? They basically beat the brakes off everybody.
I think it would have been better if we would have got the Final Four matchup as the national championship. Well, we thought.
Right.
So we thought.
Yes.
But,
Yes.
But with that
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, no, actually, UConn actually put up a nice
Right.
little, they actually made it
Right.
scrappy. So, they actually made it more of a rock fight than I thought they would.
Bruh.
Because I think the spread was 7.5, 6.5. And I'm like, man, that's a lot of points. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Kev put in the shout out to Kev, man. He put in he was like, he was like, you think they cut? I said, man, that's too many points for me. I'm like, in the championship game, I ain't comfortable with 7-6. He was like, well, it moved down to 6.5, even still. And Michigan won 69-63. I'm like, see, that's too many points. I'm like, in the championship game, that other team is not going down easily. I don't care if you get up by 20, they gonna be fighting. They gonna fight to the death. They not gonna switch their rotations. There's no white flag being raised. They're going to keep shooting and scrapping and fouling and fighting you down to the last second. They did. Yes, they did. So I'm like, nah, that's too many points for me. I don't care how, I know Michigan been slapping teams up, but I'm like, no, that scares me a little bit. But no, and shout out to UConn too, just to give them their credit, because they did. They made it a rock fight.
Always formidable.
Yeah, they are. But I, just selfishly, I'm like, man, I hope the NIL is just not, separating the haves from the have-nots in that way, what I'm saying?
Yeah,
where they just, the teams that are really good are just so much better than everybody else that they just gonna be, just steamrolling through the rest of the country. So, that did jump out at me. I'm like, man, the team, because I picked for my Final Four, I picked Arizona, Michigan, Illinois. And they all won by, they basically all won by double digits all the way up to the Final Four. And then I did pick Duke. And, if they didn't screw the pooch,
What happened to Illinois, man? They just kind of.
I mean, listen, they never underestimate. And UConn.
I'm not, but that game was there for Illinois.
It was.
It was like one or two. You know what? It was a lot of 5-point swings. Like, it was like blown layup, made three, missed three, one way, layup the other way.
Well, and we're going to get into this when we talk about the Pistons, and this is the next topic. UConn is a jump shooting team.
Mm-hmm.
And jump shooting teams in one game elimination, if the jump shots are falling,
oh man,
you're toast. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically what it comes down to. You're toast if the jump shots are falling. So, and they were falling against Illinois, and Michigan found a way to kind of smother the perimeter against them, even though, they had some flurries though, they actually had some flurries where they hit a couple of long threes. Carabin hit a couple long threes, and Braden Miller hit a couple long threes, and Solo Ball, he was in foul trouble, but he hit I think he hit a long three or two. So, but no, man, again, congratulations to the Wolverines, man. They a really dominant showing and brought home that national championship. And again, the hardest championship to win in all the sports, in my opinion, is the NCAA men's national championship. One game elimination. You got to get through a bracket of basically really 68 these days, and that's very, very complicated. So shout out to them, and the sad part is that the men's college basketball season is over, but we still got NBA. And
before you move on, I just want to say something. First off, Tyrone Davidson in the chat saying the Big Ten dominance was very entertaining.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What up, Ty?
Listen, from a selfish and personal standpoint, yes, I did like the Big Ten dominance. We've talked about that on previous podcasts.
And with that said, it made me think about when we was talking about the Big Ten 2 weeks ago, and if it was the best conference in college basketball. I think we might have to talk about the Big Ten's run. This whole school year as one of them, probably the most dominant conferences
in all the collegiate sports.
Sports.
I put that in our other chat, nephew. I said it's the premier conference in collegiate sports.
This year they have 7 different national champions in 7 different sports: Washington in soccer, Indiana in football, Penn State in wrestling, UCLA in women's basketball.
I was gonna shout them
Michigan
out
in
later.
men's basketball. Wisconsin in women's hockey, and Northwestern in field hockey. And this weekend, they can add an eighth with either Michigan or Wisconsin. One of them two can pull off the Frozen Four in men's hockey.
Hey man, listen. I said that I put that in our other chat. I said the Big Ten is the premier conference in all the collegiate sports. We handling business right now. So the conference looks great. I have no argument there. We doing our thing, and I expect for it to continue. Really, I expect for the conference to only continue to get better and better and better.
Yeah,
it's a great thing from a conference standpoint. But, as members of the conference, you shudder a little bit. You like, you know what I'm saying? Could be a long time, especially as a Michigan State fan. I think Michigan is much closer to being good than we are.
I mean, it's only going to get better. You got Juju Watkins coming back to the Big Ten next year.
Yep.
So that's just more eyes on it.
Yeah, that part, yep.
Definitely more dubs coming for the Lady Trojans.
No doubt about it. But, but then rebuilding, if you got to rebuild a program in the Big Ten, man, good luck, man. You better get them wallets.
You better hope that alumni base.
Yeah, man. You better get your boosters together, man. Get your bag up and start looking at who's in the transfer portal, who's going to be available. But yeah, no, yep. Good callback, nephew. That was a good one. Let's talk about the Pistons.
All right.
Congratulations to our Detroit Pistons this past Saturday with a 116-93 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. They clinched the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference for the first time in 19 years.
Yes, sir.
In that game, the Pistons held the 76ers to just 12 points in the fourth quarter. Tobias Harris led the team with 19 points. Dennis Jenkins and Jalen Duren both had 16 points, and the Pistons tallied their 57th win, which is their largest win total since 2007. Also, Cade was upgraded to doubtful to play in Monday night's game. And breaking news today, he is playing tonight as we speak against the Milwaukee Bucks, and so is Isaiah Stewart. I was going to give injury updates on both of them, but that's the latest breaking news. Coach Bickerstaff recently said that he believed that they both would be back for at least one remaining regular season game, so I guess he was right. With the clinching of the number 1 seed and the injury situation seemingly, not seemingly, it is moving in a positive direction. How far do you see the Pistons advancing in these playoffs, man? What say the people's champ?
Yeah, I think my position's the same. Collision course with the Celtics.
In the conference finals?
Yep, I like our chances at home in 7 games.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah, I like our chances at home in 7 games. But yeah, they're the team that concerns me mightily.
Yeah.
But in route to that hopeful collision course, it's all about
matchups,
keeping the matchups and keeping the bodies as upright as you possibly can.
Yep. No, I agree with that. I've believed since probably about late December that the ceiling for this team was a finals appearance. I'm compelled to stay the course. Fully healthy team, young contributors, even Kevin Huerter, a.k.a. Kevin Squirter. And, I'm going to give him a new nickname. Please, Kevin Don't Huerter. When he playing well.
I don't know if you can say that.
We currently sit at number 1 in paint scoring, number 2 in team defensive rating, number 1 in blocks, number 1 in steals. We top 5 in team field goal percentage. We 3rd in opponent points in the paint per game. We 3rd in opponent field goal percentage and 3rd in opponent points per game. That's going to be hard to beat in a 7-game series. So, Boston is 30th in free throw attempts per game, which means they are a jump shooting team. So I'll reiterate, number 1 in paint scoring. That means we're going to get a lot of easy baskets. In a long series, the team that gets the easy buckets will be the most difficult to defend. So, I think that sometimes the most overrated thing in sports is experience. When my grandmother used to say, everything is nothing is everything, but everything is something.
Right.
And when you break down the matchup, it's something to consider, the amount of experience that a team has, but it's not. I think it's overdone.
It is.
It's why, obviously Jordan wasn't favored in the 91 finals. We talked about that briefly last week. We also talked about the 04 Pistons. It's why they weren't favored, because they were going against Shaq and Kobe, who had won 3 championships together. Because people seldomly they start at experience, and experience is a factor, you know what I'm saying? But it's not, you should break down the actual series itself as opposed to just starting with experience. Like, oh, they've been there before. Well, yeah. But what else is at play?
Right.
And I think that a lot of times the inexperienced team is shortchanged with what else is at play. So,
I agree. I think with me and how I look at it with the Celtics in particular, their experience is a little different because a lot of times that can implicate that they're old.
Yeah,
they're getting old.
No, I don't think that. Yeah,
I know I'm not saying.
I agree. I agree with you though.
But with this particular group, a lot of their experience, they kind of hit the league on the ground running because of how Boston kind of had it set up.
Yeah, no, you're right. They were in
when Tatum kind of fell into their lap, so it's they kind of know how this thing goes.
Yeah, you're right.
When you're talking conference finals type of deal, and even the Derek Whites and the Pritchards and the what's the other the shooter? Hauser, guys, guys of that sort. They've kind of cut their teeth in the playoffs a little more than our guys.
Yeah.
Like,
I get it. We've got playoff series.
Like we've got the hunger.
Yeah.
And we've got the talent. We've got the guys. But just some moments where you just gotta have that know-how.
Yep.
Just kind of concerns me. The gamesmanship within the game.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, I'm certainly not discounting them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the other side of the coin. You can't discount that they're a great team. They do have a championship pedigree. They have been in the moments, and we haven't. So there's something there, but it's just, I just think that if we play our game and we don't get outside of ourselves, that we should be able to win more games than we lose. Now, that doesn't mean that it's going to be automatic. We're going to have great coaching. We're going to have great performances from unexpected places. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're going to have some things that break our way. Right. But I just see, that is a favorable matchup. And it has been all year. It has been a good matchup for us all year. I think the way we play versus the way, it's like styles make fights, not to use a boxing analogy, but I think our style is a bad matchup for them.
Heavy JD.
Right. Yeah.
Heavy dose.
Oh, man.
Heavy dose.
Because I just see Cade just having a hard time. Cade because he's giving Cade the flux this year. And I'm like, I just see that continuing. I don't really see Amebius Cade really being able to deal with Jalen Duren.
Neither does he.
Yeah, I know. That's not gonna work out, man. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited for the Pistons, man. I'm excited to see who the opponent is gonna be. We're gonna have to wait an extra week, but I'm excited to get through the end of this season and see where everything shakes out, man. We'll see who that first round opponent is gonna be.
You know what I'm looking for, honestly, truthfully?
What's that?
And it's not a huge thing, but it's something that I'm looking for just to see some growth with this squad. I want to see them win their first 2 home playoff games.
Oh, yeah.
Convincingly.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, when I say convincingly, like
double
10,
digit.
yeah, like 10 points or, like the, last minute 45 seconds, it becomes a free throw shooting thing.
Yeah.
But I want to see,
just handle it, yeah.
Just see that you're here to handle business. You're not overzealous. You're not too geeked.
Yep.
we
I
hear
agree.
and we know what the moment is.
And just put the other team on notice that, look,
That's
is
one of those little small things,
right.
like out the gate, because it's the first round.
Yeah, don't lose home court advantage. You know what I'm saying? That, like, take advantage of. No,
get out of there clean.
I agree. Yep. I agree with that. And you know what? I think we will.
Yeah.
I think we will. Whoever the first round opponent is, I think we're gonna let them know that they in for a long series or a short series. Like. Not to be cliche, but
I get what you're saying. Long nights, short series.
Exactly, yeah, right, yeah. You in for some long games, bro. This ain't gonna be sweet. Just because we young and don't have a lot of experience under our belt. So, yep, man. But again, congratulations to the Pistons for clinching that number 1 seed. And,
yes, sir.
And we got Cade and Stu back tonight. And hopefully, they getting some reps in.
Yeah, they're beating the brakes off Milwaukee. I think Cade right now, he's got like 13 and 5. He's played about 26 minutes.
That's good.
It was 13 and 10 last time I checked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good.
I love it.
Yep, that's good, man.
So I just wanted to go back to another conversation we had a couple of weeks ago as far as the opponents. Possible opponents. So right now the Sixers are 7th, the Magic are 8th, the Hornets are 9, the Heat are 10. So do y'all want that the whole court? Would y'all like that the whole court as far as the play-in playing out exactly like that? Or is there a team in particular that you're trying to see?
I mean, it really doesn't matter to me. I'm kind of like Lance. Like I kind of want the Hornets.
Yeah, like that would be a good series, man. I want that smoke.
Yeah, I want the smoke.
Bring the chimney here.
But I wouldn't mind Orlando. We'll slap them around.
Yeah,
like any one of them teams. We dispatching whoever. Any one of them teams at the bottom. Like, now that Atlanta is out of there, now that Atlanta done played themselves up to 5, that was really the team I was worried that was hanging around down there. Let them go and battle it out with Cleveland in the first round and tire Cleveland out, because hopefully we dispatch whoever we get in 4 or 5 games, because whoever gonna have to deal with Atlanta in that first round, which is looking like Cleveland, which is good.
Are going home.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they at least gonna have a romp on their hands. Let me tell you that. They got a romp. Yeah, listen, I'm kind of with you. I'm like, that Atlanta is nasty.
Who's leading that group in Cleveland?
James Hardship.
I think Cleveland isn't the team that should be most scared of playing Atlanta.
Oh, who you thinking?
I think it's New York.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
No,
you're right.
Fair too.
Because is Orlando currently in 6th or are they in 7th?
Orlando is currently 8th.
Oh, okay. So Toronto is 6, right?
Toronto is 6th. Then it's Philadelphia, Orlando, Charlotte, Miami.
So if they started today, it would be Toronto in New York. That's an interesting matchup too. Because Toronto is sneaky, but I expect New York would.
I think if you had a choice between seeing Toronto and seeing Atlanta right now, I think
choice
is seeing Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto all day. Yeah, And now New York is hoping that things hold just as they are.
Yep.
They like, y'all go ahead.
Steer clear.
Yeah,
so clear of us.
Yeah, no doubt. Yep. So no, I agree with you, nephew. Yeah, I know New York don't want to play. I mean, listen, nobody really want to play Atlanta right now. But if we gonna get them, I'd rather get them in the second round, and after let Cleveland deal with them for a minute. But yep, so that's interesting, man. That's a interesting scenarios, man. I'm interested to see these last few games because there'll probably be some movement in there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the NBA's injury problem.
Okay.
The NBA is facing a significant injury epidemic with the high volume of missed games by star players, obviously. With load management, missed games are as much about strategic withdrawals as they are about managing actual maladies. However, significant injuries seem to bite a new superstar every week. Teams controversially rest healthy players to limit their wear and tear and long-term ailments, or sometimes keep an A-lister on the shelf for a large portion of the season to improve their draft position. frankly, we know that's the situation with players like Giannis, Trae Young, and probably Anthony Davis as well. What's the root cause of these injuries, and what could be or should be done to prevent additional player injury? And what is the league's responsibility in all of this? What say the people's champ?
I have no idea. I don't. I have no idea what's causing all these injuries. I don't. I mean, it's 2021. You can 3D print clothes,
Right.
and food, but we just can't get the science down on runner's knee or whatever the hell
Yeah,
that
no,
is.
it's
Like,
Steph
if your
Curry.
knee's meant to bend, well, how the hell you get runner's knee? Like,
Hello.
it's wild. I think the NBA has a huge responsibility to invest in their product and, to ensure that they maximize what they get out of their product.
Yeah.
I mean, for themselves and, of course, for us, the fans. But I don't know where that starts. I don't, because, I mean, it's been happening, I'm sure, there's nights, Penny Hardaway's at home wondering what the hell the NBA is doing about injuries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's kind of like one of those things. And I get it. It seems now the big name guys are getting nicked with it.
Yes.
More with more regularity.
Yes, I was gonna say that's absolutely right.
And I mean, I'm at a loss. Do you? I don't know if you shorten the amount of games or you extend the season by extending the days in between games.
Right.
I don't.
That's a thought.
I don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. That's as good a thought as any.
Right, well,
I don't think anybody knows. But with respect to root causes, I like you. I don't know. I have some theories. And let's deal with the myth of pace, though, because I keep hearing that proliferating, that the pace is so much faster now. This season, the average number of possessions per game is 99.3. Last season, it was 98.8. The season before that, 98.5. Season before that, 99.2. That's the last 4 years. The highest has been in the past decade is 100.3. And that was in 2019, 2020, and that was the season that was shortened by the pandemic.
Okay.
Last 4 years of the 1980s. 86, 87, the pace was 100.8, 87, 88, 99.6, 88, 89, 100.6, and 89, 90, 98.3. So the pace now is essentially the same as it was in the late 80s. It's not the pace. Because the injuries in the late 80s did not resemble what we are seeing now. And I know that we're supposed to be talking about causes, what is causing it and was not causing it. But I keep hearing that talking point proliferating, and I'm like, it's not pace. We can look at what the pace is. You can go on Basketball Reference, literally look at what the pace of the game has been.
Right.
And this is not even the fastest era.
Right.
The fastest era was way back when. Now, I know they weren't playing as many games in the 70s, but the fastest era is really in the 70s.
Right.
But
oh, yeah, absolutely. They were getting up and down and blended in that ABA ball.
Yeah, exactly. So what I will say is another hypothesis, though, is the idea of positionless basketball.
Okay.
I'm not sure that guys are intended to do as many things as we see them do these days. And even I'm guilty of being critical of a guy averaging 30 per game, if he don't play defense. And in fairness, I'm not critical, just for the sake of being critical. We usually talking about something like MVP or, why he's not as good as another guy, right? But bigs being on the perimeter, guards averaging 8, 9, 10 rebounds per game, it may inadvertently subject them to different types of injuries. Also, of course, I believe load management is a culprit. It's probably not one thing. It's probably a multiplicity of different things. But the idea of resting the body and conditioning the body at the same time is counterintuitive. You have to subject the body to a rigorous schedule in order to achieve a certain level of conditioning that makes the body the least susceptible to injury. You can't make the body impervious to injury.
Right.
But when schedule makers go out of their way to make sure you never play 4 games in 5 nights. Then you have load management that guards you from playing back-to-backs. And then you have organizational structures that lighten or reduce practice schedules to little to nothing. When games become more important during the playoff push and you're no longer able to take rest days, the body revolts and soft tissue injuries occur and significant time is missed. So finally, I think weightlifting is an important part of injury prevention. Players are as light as they've been in almost 30 years, the average weight of an NBA player. It increases tissue resilience, it improves neuromuscular control, and it corrects muscle imbalance, I should say. And I think less guys are probably lifting weights, even though I don't have the numbers on that. But it's just something that I've heard. But again, I, like you, I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I think there's probably some combination of all of those things that could probably help in correcting what we've seen as really, again, an epidemic of injuries that has really just, it's gotten out of control, for the better part of the last decade. So, yeah, man. Let's move on to the Rookie of the Year, man.
Oh yeah, man, it's getting tight.
It is, man.
It's getting tight now.
Cooper Flagg entered this season as the front runner. The 6'9" forward out of Duke entered as the league's youngest player. He had a series of youngest and first thresholds, catching and surpassing the likes of Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic. Flagg is the youngest player to ever score 50-plus points, youngest player to score 45-plus points with 5-plus rebounds and 5-plus assists, and he holds the record for most 40-point games by a teenager. Normally, that would be enough to run away and hide with the Rookie of the Year award, but Cade Cunningham has also had a strong showing, currently leading the NBA in three-pointers made. So far, he has 265 three-pointers, the most ever by a rookie, and he is shooting an impressive 43% from three-point range. I'm going to ask the people's champ directly, man. Who should win this Rookie of the Year and why?
Pull a 94-95 and call it.
I said I can see a scenario where they split
do a J. Kidd, Grant Hill, and Coed. And I mean, you can say that's a cop-out, but they both put in the work. I mean, Cooper Flagg can't help the fact that his organization was run by dipshits. And, they thought that Anthony Davis would be there, whether physically or by play, and he knew he was going into the season without Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? But he has delivered. I mean, he's exceeded, my expectations. I had him anywhere, I think what we talked about, I had him anywhere between 16 and 20 points a night. And I think that's
he's 21, I think.
That's right around where he's at, but he has kicked the rookie wall down.
Yeah, definitely.
And while, it may look like his team is tanking,
yeah,
he certainly is
he
not.
Balling, yeah.
He doesn't he hunts good shots.
Mm-hmm.
He knows where his spots are on the floor offensively at 19.
Yep.
And defensively, he gives effort. I mean, he's only going to get stronger.
Yep.
And once Cooper Flagg gets to imposing his will defensively like he was up in Maine.
Yeah, man.
Okay. And then to, Cade Cunningham, you have to reward winning.
Yep.
He has been a integral cog to what they're doing down there with the Buzz City Killers.
Yep.
And being able to shoot the ball at the clip that he's doing has been able to unlock a lot of what Melo likes to do, a lot of what Brandon Millers likes to do, keeps the lane open for Miles Bridges.
Mm-hmm.
And Cade Cunningham a good rebounder, too.
Yeah, no, man. He's a really good all-around player despite the great three-point shooting.
Yeah, I mean, he's a solid, to your point, solid. So, yeah, man, in this case, man, let the roommates split it.
Yep. It would not surprise me if for the first time in more than a quarter century we see a split Rookie of the Year. Last time was 2000 with Elton Brand, Steve Francis. I do lean toward Cooper Flagg.
2000?
It was 2000.
Okay.
Yep,
okay.
Elton Brand, Steve Francis. 94, 95 was J. Kidd and Grant Hill. And they also split it. I do lean toward Cooper Flagg. I would say because of his supporting cast, but he don't have one. He essentially bringing prosperity back to the community in Dallas.
Yeah.
Khan has been outstanding though, but he sometimes, is the third, fourth option on his team
For sure.
on a given night, and Cooper just doesn't have that.
But you can't
No.
if we gonna give Steph credit like the love and the whole new conversation with gravity, you can't take away what he brings to the floor offensively by not having the ball in his hands.
You can't, and that's why it's hard when you having these comparison discussions.
Right.
That's not to undermine him. We just making a comparison because they both in the race.
Right.
Khan has been great, man. This is not a knock on him. We just doing a comparison,
Right.
a comparative analysis, and just Cooper just doesn't have anything around him, and Khan's got a lot, and that opens up a lot for a shooter too. A lot of those threes he being set up for by LaMelo. I was gonna call him Lonzo. By LaMelo, because LaMelo is penetrating and he's drawing a lot of people and he's a playmaker, and Brandon Miller is drawing a lot of attention. And even when Miles Bridges remembers that he's talented,
Right.
and he decides to play up to his potential on those nights. He can create some shots and some open looks for Khan. So even though yes, Khan is, like you said, he brings a lot of attention to himself, but he also is the beneficiary,
for sure,
of some really good teammates. And
meanwhile, Coop's dependent on PJ Washington
Exactly.
to clank that corner three-pointer like no tomorrow.
and this is the point that I'm making, is that Cooper just doesn't have anybody around to assist him or to get him any looks. He's got to basically create for himself and everybody else. And I would lean toward him, but I'm with you. I mean, I think that I would actually be gratified to see these young guys split this Rookie of the Year. Now, voters cannot split their vote, so it would have to be a true.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
it would
I
have to
didn't
be
know
a
that.
true, it would have to be a true 50-50 vote. Like half the voters would just have to vote for Khan, half of them would have to vote for Cooper Flagg. But I would actually be gratified to see that, because I think that they are both deserving of the award. They both played great. Man, let's do some Lakers talk, man. Your favorite thing to do.
Oh, joy.
Everybody want to hear from the people's champ on the Lakers,
No,
man.
they don't, but
Yeah, they do, man. Because they know it brings you so much joy.
oh, man.
Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves.
I do like Luka, though.
Recently, Luka Doncic suffered a grade 2 hamstring injury, sidelining him for the remainder of the regular season and possibly at least a portion of the playoffs. Also, Austin Reeves was sidelined with a grade 2 left oblique muscle injury for the remainder of the regular season and possibly at least a portion of the playoffs. Recently, the Lakers slid into the 4th spot in the Western Conference standings. They currently have an identical record with the Houston Rockets, 50 and 29 with 3 games remaining. But have no fear. With 41-year-old LeBron at the helm, what are the Lakers' chances of advancing in the playoffs if Luka and Austin Reeves are unavailable to return? And is there a LeBron James curse with respect to injured teammates? Has he just played with so many teammates that this is an inevitability? We'll say the people's champ, man. It's LeBron curse, man. And what chance do they have to advance?
What are they, the 3 seed?
They 4 now.
They're 4 now?
They have an identical record to the 5 seed,
Which is Houston?
Rockets. Yeah, 50 and 29. So they could slide to the 5.
Yeah, without Luka and Austin Reeves.
You think they can beat Houston in a 7 game?
No.
Zero chance, 10% chance.
Will
What?
Houston have Steven Adams back? Or is he done?
Does
for the
that
year?
matter? You think
Yeah.
that matters?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
You think
it does.
DeAndre dominating might show up for the series? Then
No, but he can show up for a game or two.
In the restricted area. And
Yeah, he can show up for a game or two.
Enough to win the series, though?
But
4 out of 7?
well, no, you said how. I mean, what are their chances?
Yeah,
I mean, they don't have good chances. I mean, they need to look into
25%, 30? What?
3.
People want to know what the people's champ.
Like what they need to look into how Antiqua's looking around this time of year. Or
start booking vacations.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
man.
saying?
Get the travel agent on the phone, man. They will be free early May. They will be free. Like, no, I mean, without Luka, that's what, over 60 points and good. I'm 60 points and
I mean, Rui could step into that number 2 role
and do a number 2 on the court.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they beat any other Western Conference.
But is LeBron cursed with injury?
Yeah, with the injured teammate thing. I've seen a couple of exposés on this, and so I thought I would ask the people's champ. People talking about, they've gone back to 2015 where you had the bad luck, and then
with the Kyrie thing.
Kyrie and Love got hurt before the 2015 finals.
I would say that one is legit.
Yeah.
Like that one is legit to me.
And then even in 2014, I think Wade was playing hurt with the knee. I mean, like they pointed out, it's a few. Listen, don't shoot the messenger, man. I'm giving you I just saw a whole expose on LeBron's bad luck with teammate injuries, bro. Don't shoot the messenger.
No,
man.
I'm not. I was just wondering. No, I mean, like, I'll concede, like, the 2015.
Yeah, against Golden State. And then I'm trying to remember. They pointed out some other
And then, like,
ones.
the 2014 thing with D-Wade. I mean, D-Wade stayed hurt. Like,
Yeah.
Like, at that point, like, D-Wade was kind of finished anyway. Like, that's what you signed up for.
And then Anthony Davis, when they was
again,
up
another
2-1.
another.
They was up 2-1 on Phoenix in round 1.
Yeah.
And he went out, with the groin injury again.
Mm-hmm.
He's notorious with the soft tissue injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember they brought up a whole host of
I mean,
them.
23 seasons is a lot. It's a lot of reasons you can find now. Like, don't get me wrong, but
I know the reason.
Well, my whole thing is, you're going to increase your luck. In this case, bad luck of running into inopportune injuries when you have a war chest of high caliber teammates to play with all the time. So I mean,
and not only that, you don't like young guys.
Yeah.
How many young players has he jettisoned in favor of veterans?
Lonzo Ball,
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson,
Brandon Ingram.
yeah, Brandon Ingram.
He gave up all of them
Andrew Wiggins
to get who? He gave up all of them young Lakers to get Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
An older, often injured guy, but he was better.
Well,
Like, if you always want veteran teammates because you don't like the young guys because they don't give you as good a chance to win a championship, well, you're going to have some injured teammates. That's what's going to happen. You gave up all the young guys to get the old guys.
hey man,
Well, yeah, they are better. They got more All-Stars and more All-NBAs under their belt, but guess what else they got? They got more miles on them knees, too.
bro, it always tastes better out the oven than out the microwave
Yeah, that's it.
every time.
And you like older, and I said I was going to give no analysis to this LeBron curse thing because it's nonsense.
It's
but
foolishness, but
And no, they have no chance of advancing without Luka and or Austin Reeves.
I said 3%.
Yeah, I say 0.
Okay.
They not beating Houston in the 7. I don't care who Houston. If Houston got Şengün and Amen Thompson and Durant, I don't care who else they got. If they got them 3 and it's no Luka, no Reeves, no chance.
The Ime could show up out
Yeah,
there.
right. Yeah, if Ime is in the 4th jersey, if they got them 3 and some other NBA players, it's over with.
Give me the ball.
But listen, and the whole thing is, man, LeBron don't have nothing else to prove, man. For as much as I do get on LeBron a little bit. LeBron is a great player. LeBron really don't have nothing else to prove. I mean, he doesn't have to make another deep playoff run. I think he's solidified on the Mount Rushmore of professional basketball. That's my opinion. That's me, but but he continues, and he's got his own reasons. I don't judge.
He's doing it for us, man.
For who?
The fans.
He don't have anything else to prove to me.
He's doing it for us, man. You should appreciate it.
I mean, listen, if he wants to continue to play, that's his prerogative. I'm not telling the man what to do or what not to do. Not that I'm anybody to tell anybody anything, but I'm just saying LeBron he doesn't have to do anything. Like, he can or cannot play. Like, if he was to hang it up after this season, I'm like, man, LeBron is solidified on the Mount Rushmore of professional basketball, in my humble opinion. Now, that's one man's opinion. What you got, Neff?
I'd appreciate a little more
I was just going to say, so right now, as you said, the Lakers and the Rockets are tied with the same record. The Lakers have the tiebreaker over the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
They're a game behind the Nuggets, but they also hold the tiebreaker over the Nuggets.
Yep.
I guess this is dependent on how the Thunder and the Spurs both approach their game with the Nuggets. But if the Lakers can get back to the 3 seed, let me not say do you think they have a better chance, because I think the answer to that is yes. How much more confident are you in the Lakers of possibly making a run if they were in 3 instead of 4?
Because who is 6? Is it the Timberwolves?
Yes.
Is Ant-Man going to play?
I would assume.
If Ant-Man is going to play, the same.
Yeah, if Ant-Man
chances.
plays and they go up against Minnesota, then I give the Lakers a 10% chance. With no Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, man, that man going one leg on average 40 on them.
The same 0 that I gave him against Houston.
Because you know who not going to check him.
Yeah. It's the same 0 that I get, because Minnesota put them out last year easily. And that was with Luka Doncic. So, do I think dominating is going to make a difference? No. Now, Rudy might not go off for whatever he got in Game 5.
Man.
He turned into Wilt Gobert.
Listen.
But no, the Lakers will not beat Minnesota. No, I don't think they can beat. I'm sorry, I don't know if you heard me. That was they can't beat another Western Conference opponent.
Plans for early May. They will be Mother's Day. They will be available. They will be free.
Yeah, I agree with the People's Champ. No, they can't make a run. They have to have one of the two. Like, if one of the two can get back, then we'll revisit this conversation. Yeah, we'll revisit. They said Luka is somewhere. I think he in Slovenia getting some kind of
grade 2 hammy.
Yeah,
good luck, bro.
But he said he getting some kind of treatment to try to get. I'm just telling you what he doing, man.
Bruh.
He getting some kind of treatment.
If it ain't from Balco with a grade 2 hammy, man, please.
I don't know what he's doing. I just know that I just read something that he over there in his homeland trying to get some kind of treatment.
Man, grade 2 hammies, holler at me in August.
Yeah.
Like, man, stop, dog.
Yeah. So, your man Deontay Wilder, man. Bomb squad. Congratulations to Deontay Wilder, man. He got a split decision victory over veteran Derek Chisora over the weekend. This was Wilder's first win by decision in 11 years, breaking a long streak of knockout wins.
Right.
What's next for Wilder, man? He's no longer really a marquee name, but he can still make for an entertaining fight, man. What say the People's Champ, man?
Go beat up on one of the Pauls or something.
I would like that.
Do that. Go beat up on one of the Pauls, man. I don't know. I don't know what if Anthony Joshua's thinking about fighting ever again. I don't think that's a fight that he would even take. With Wilder's at this stage of his career, I don't know what he would get out of it.
Right.
I mean, outside of maybe he want to do Wilder a solid. You never know. You never know. But I mean, outside of that, man, go get you some retirement money, man.
That's what
holler
I
at TKO, get one of the Pauls on the phone. Do a gauntlet. Fight both of them in the same night. You know what I mean? Like, I'll beat the brakes off one, and then later on that night for the nightcap, I'll beat the brakes off the other one. I mean, I'd pay to see that.
Hey, man, I'm in.
I mean, I think he could do it in the same night. So, I mean, hey,
yes.
Deontay, call me, dog. Work that on out. But I mean, outside of that, if he wants to fight, he showed that he still can fight professionally, but at what tier? I mean,
Right.
that remains to be seen. So I just hope that he has like smart people around him.
Yeah.
That can kind of guide him into some fights that are financially beneficial to him and physically, I guess, at minimal risk as possible, considering what they do.
Yeah. I mean, the Paul thing, that's not even the angle that I considered, man. Because it's hard to say, like, what he could do. I know that there was some discussion about him fighting Usyk. I mean,
you see, I wasn't even going there. I was
No.
like, man, let's just keep
right.
this,
Usyk
man.
would just-
No.
Let's just keep
I
this
mean, we
man.
know
Deontay Wilder's day
Let's
as a
just
title
keep this
contender
man-
are over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's just keep this man making some money. He obviously
Right.
likes to still fight, and there's some fighting that he can do where he can make some money, but it doesn't
Let's
have to
be
necessarily
honest.
that.
Let's be honest. He's looking for somebody to send him into retirement at this point. After that performance that I saw on Saturday,
nephew, you like it. You like, so he looking for somebody to knock his block off.
yes, that's what I feel like is happening here at this point.
I mean, if, fight Dubois, fight Joshua, fight Usyk, because they'll do it.
Man, tell him somebody in the ring before he punch him. I love you. Come on now.
Man, listen, bro. That was, like I said, man, that's kind of what I expected from Deontay. It didn't.
Man, that whole fight was ugly.
It was a lot of wrestling and yanking and it was just pause.
It was bad from Wilder, bad from Chisora, bad from the rest. It was just bad all around.
Yeah, bro. It was weak.
Not quite the banner night.
Yeah, it was yeah. Yeah, nah, you're right, nephew. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
It wasn't like we had a good undercard to go along with it. So it was like, well, okay, at least we got something out of it. It was just
no good co-main event.
nothing. It was nothing.
Nephew didn't like the card. No, I mean, listen, man, I'm glad to see our brother Wilder, man, back in the ring, and he was a little off the rails for a minute, man. He on Piers Morgan. I'm like, man, would you sit down?
Hey, man.
Did you see some of the stuff he was saying on Piers Morgan?
And, I'm not getting DM'd by Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, no, listen.
No, sir.
Shout out to Deontay, bro.
No. Yep.
But did you see what
I did. He was emotional.
No, but did you see what he said about his daughter's conception? You ain't see that?
I missed it.
Oh no, that's not.
Okay, yeah, we ain't going. Okay, I'll fill you in later. if everybody has one family, you Google what I'm saying.
I missed that part.
Because it ain't really appropriate. This is a family show.
I can't afford Lance to walk off set for
Right,
2
yeah.
straight weeks.
Sorry.
Yeah, right. We don't want the people's champ to walk off set, bro. I'm like, man, you couldn't have beat that information out of me with the cat of nine tails,
Okay,
brother.
so now I got
I'd have definitely took
Deontay
that
Wilder's daughter's
conception.
Oh man, that's
Very odd. And I'm like, why would you say that in public? But shout out to Deontay Wilder, man. Congratulations to you on your victory, because that's what we're talking about now, man. And we hope that, that many good things to come. And hopefully you're not looking for somebody to retire you, like Nephew said. Let's move on to the SS segment, man. We got to talk about this, man. We'll first take time to congratulate the UCLA women's basketball team for winning the national
Corey
championship
Close
this past weekend over the South Carolina Gamecocks, coached by Dawn Staley, who we're about to talk about in a second. Final score was 79-51, and it was every bit the domination that the final score suggests prior to the game. In the Final Four, the UConn Huskies took on the aforementioned South Carolina Gamecocks. The Lady Gamecocks won a grinded-out affair, 62-48. UConn coach Geno Auriemma took exception to the officiating during a mid-game interview complaining about the lack of foul calls and making reference to Coach Dawn Staley's interactions with the officials, stating that she was calling them names that, quote, you don't want to hear, unquote. After the game, Coach Auriemma and Coach Staley exchanged unpleasant words. In the post-game press conference, Coach Auriemma made reference to the pre-game handshake, stating that he was left standing there for 3 minutes. The handshake clearly occurred. He didn't clarify if his frustration was with the waiting or the exchange. Finally, Coach Auriemma issued an apology saying that he, quote, lost himself, unquote. Coach Staley also issued a statement saying that it's time to move on. I'm going to ask the People's Champ, was Coach Auriemma's outburst over the line, or was it just a part of rivalries? And did his apology seem sincere? We'll say the People's Champ.
The entire scenario from that, the time the final whistle went off in that game was sucker shit. All of it, period. From what Geno did, with the what was the in-game interview with Holly Rowe, to the post-game incident with Dawn, the post-game interview with Dawn, the lame-ass apology that he put out on Saturday, and then all of the Lady Husky alumni gathering around, safeguarding and gatekeeping his legacy that whole weekend. It was all weak. It was all sucker shit to me, and I'm tired of seeing it. It happens all the time in women's sports, especially when it comes to women of color. Period. Like if it ain't Dawn Staley, it's Tay Townsend. If it ain't Tay Townsend, it's Coco Gauff. If it ain't Coco Gauff, it's Jordan Childs. If it ain't Jordan Childs, it's Angel Reese. If it ain't Angel Reese, it's Simone Biles. It's just like, it's just old, man. It's Geno Auriemma being entitled, and he got his ass kicked, and he didn't know how to handle it, and then he gets up here at a press conference asking people this rhetorical question that they can't answer. If you ever waited 3 minutes for somebody to shake your hand before the game, I never have in 41 years. Man, shut up.
Right. What difference?
And hold that L. And then during the national championship, you got Big Bite Lobo over here talking about, well, Geno Auriemma, I've confirmed, reached out to Dawn Staley personally and apologized. That was a lie. He didn't. They asked Dawn after the game, and she was like, no, that's a Geno question. I haven't talked to him. That's a lie. And that was just an attempt because Geno was getting heat for that lame apology that he put out where he apologized to their staff, where, he didn't go on a tirade and get in the face of their staff. He got in Dawn Staley's face.
I concur.
You know what I'm saying? And then that was weak. And then then there's the Sue Bird. That's just Geno being Geno, and that's just how it is. Okay, that's fine. Well, how he is on some sucker shit.
Right.
Period.
Real
and then Diana Taurasi, same thing. And it's like, come on. Especially when you're talking Lobo, Taurasi, Sue Bird, I get it, the whole Husky loyalty thing.
Yep.
But Dawn Staley was a teammate of yours or coach of yours too at some point.
Right.
I mean, Lobo especially because you consider what that 96 Olympic team did in terms of jumping off the WNBA the following season.
Yeah.
Staley, Lobo, Swoops, Leslie were like the 4 players that they were pitching when they were starting that league. I remember. You get what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So to sit up here and to go on TV, national TV, and say that when all you had to do was just go talk to Dawn Staley probably to find out if that's true. It ain't like you don't know her.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And to go broadcast that when it's a flagrant lie, that was weak.
Yep.
That was weak as hell to me. And then, like I say, and to just kind of water the narrative down to, well, that's just Geno being, competitive, and that's just how it is, and it's just 2 people from Philly. It's like, no, man. It's like people are too comfortable being disrespectful to female athletes of color, and until they get allies of a high stature other than the usual suspects, like shout out your Paige Beckers, et cetera, then nothing's going to happen, bro. Yep. Period. Like, and I'm just tired of it, and it's absolutely undoubtedly immersed in sucker shit. And go ahead, bro.
I don't think this is a woman in sports that's colored situation.
I do.
I think, no, honestly, I feel like And I think Candace Parker pretty much said it best during her Hall of Fame press conference. And I'm just paraphrasing her quote, but a person's gonna show you their true colors. I guess you could say once is an instant, twice isn't a coincidence. This is not the first time he's had beef with a head coach
I know, Pat.
a woman. Basically, Dawn Staley has taken over Pat's spot for Geno, and he's basically acted the same way to Dawn, the same way he was acting towards Pat towards the later part of those years. So I think this is just more about Geno being Geno, and truth be told, Geno is just a sucker at the end of the day. Like, I think he's gotten better over the years. I won't give him that. I will give him at least that much grace, but I think at the end of the day, he's still an asshole.
Yeah.
Through and through.
No arguments there.
So, I'll preface my comments by saying I definitely feel protective over the sisters, and I have a great respect for Coach Staley. I understand that in the heat of battle, people can say and do things that they don't mean. We're all human beings. Coach Geno, he's out there defending his program, his players, his reputation, his institution, and his fans. When the adrenaline is pumping, you may feel provoked in the moment and do something that you don't mean. I've done it myself, but my issue was with the apology. He apologized to Coach Staley and her staff. You didn't scream in the face of her staff. You attempted to dress down a woman who you should see as a colleague and an equal. You attempted to do so in public. You then tried to justify it by saying she kept you waiting for the pregame handshake. You stayed defiant when asked a follow-up question, and then you made a personal call to appeal to her better nature after the situation had calmed down. I have no doubt that on the private phone call, you gave the appropriate apology, but you didn't act out in private. I believe that when you attempt to embarrass someone in public, which is what you attempted not only to do when you addressed her after the game, but you also made reference to how she was addressing the officials during the mid-game interview, the apology, the penance, if you will, needs to also be done equally as public. Not a catch-all apology for me and my staff, but a direct one for the offended party. You didn't lose yourself, Coach Geno. You revealed yourself to be condescending, and now you need to publicly make it right. Then it'll be time to move on. Yeah, that was definitely some sucker shit. But
no, like at the end of the day, like I don't think I've ever seen for as great as Geno is at being the head coach, I don't think I've ever seen a man so threatened by a woman who can match his skill and success.
Yeah, because he's a sucker.
right.
It's sucker shit, bro.
Because like I said, first it happened with Pat. It's happening with Dawn, and I think all three of us can come to the agreement that Dawn has filled in the void that we lost with Pat Summitt in women's college basketball.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so it's just something about Geno that he feels threatened by whoever has the ability to match his skill level, and it's
like, bro, after 30 years, go coach the men, dog.
Right.
Like, man, it's like, man, cut the jokes, dog. Like, go coach the men, dog. You ain't bored, like, beating the hell out of college girls, dog, going on these 50, 60, 70, 80 game win streaks, dog. That don't get tired.
You look at the head coaches at UConn, it's a night and day difference.
Right.
In how they act and how they carry themselves.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I was offended by his behavior.
That was
out
just
of line.
and again, man, like I don't like to play the card, but it's just always they just always get extra comfortable, dog, when they come to us, dog.
No,
like,
they do.
Like they just
I agree with you.
They just always get
you're right. I felt the same way. I'm like, it was plenty of men out there to talk to. You was mad at the officials, run up on in the field, but he didn't. But no, I agree with you, man, and that's. Yep, I thought that was definitely some sucker shit.
And the fake allyship is weak to me,
Yeah.
dog. Like and like it always rears its head, dog. Like nobody but the usual suspects that look like us came to her defense, dog. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the apology came on Tuesday, and then the real apology, and then even that had to be buffered with Dawn coming up behind him, the saying wash him. Like, well, we
it's time to
move
move on. Yeah, it's
and
time to
lift
move
up
on. Like, no, it ain't. It's not time to move on till we get a real apology.
To try and make it seem like she had to share some of the onus of like, well, maybe she did kind of overreact too.
No,
so I'm like, that's
she didn't do nothing to deserve that. No,
that's the shit I don't.
Yeah, I know. We not comforting people. We not comforting these offenders, though. No.
And I don't back down from that, dog.
Yeah, nope. We not comforting these. Dawn didn't do anything to deserve that. She was out there coaching her team, coaching them hard, and doing exactly what he was doing. He talking about she talking to the officials. You screaming at the officials too. Like, who are you to try to put her out there like that?
I ain't never had a player get their jersey ripped off. Well, you ain't never had a player rip their own jersey off then, dude.
Like, don't worry. Yeah, like, man. Yeah, dude. But at any rate, man, like
congratulations. You on some sucker shit for the week, bro.
Most definitely, yeah. You made this segment easy this week, Mr. Auriemma. The Detroit Lions, they quietly re-signed Devontae Maddox this week. This past week, the Lions re-signed Deontay Maddox to a 1-year, $1.42 million deal. It'll provide some depth in the defensive backfield. Maddox, he appeared in 14 games last season, recorded 32 tackles and an interception. Let me ask the People's Champ, if you had to assign a letter grade to the Lions this offseason so far, what are you giving it and why?
I would give it a B-. And the reason why is because I felt that they did two things. They addressed depth, and I feel that they didn't overpay while doing that. And that was important to me. Like, sometimes, especially in Allen Park, we kind of get FOMO sometimes in free agency. So the fact that we were able to add depth and and do it rather affordably, I'm good with that. I'll give it a B-. Would I like maybe a sexier name here and there?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for the draft, and then that'll be my final element for the postseason grade.
Yep. I got it at a solid C.
Okay.
I like Cade. I like the Cade Mays pickup. Obviously, I like Pacheco. I like Bourne, Izzy, and McCreary in the defensive backfield as depth pieces. Do I think they make us markedly better individually, like you just pointed out? No. But do I think they improve us incrementally? Yes. And like you pointed out, I'll continue to say that the draft could make it an A or a B. That could elevate us because we need some impact guys along the defensive line. If we can get impact pieces along the defensive line, I think that makes all of the difference. And then if we could plug that left guard hole, or at least create some depth there, if they are determined to go back to Mahogany, I want another option, though, at left guard. Mm-hmm. And I know they just signed a tackle from San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Borch or something like that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I would have to dig it up. But to your point on Mahogany, when healthy, he looked pretty solid.
He was not bad.
He looked pretty solid when healthy.
I just don't
threw him in the fire.
Yeah, I just don't think that he played well enough where you can be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, we
said
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I want another option there in case he struggles. That's all. That's all I would say is that we need another option at the left guard spot in case he struggles. If he plays great, then we just got some depth at the offensive line. In case of injuries. But if he struggles, we got somebody else to plug in. So that's that. And then, I got a couple of I actually got some rapid fire for you.
Oh, okay.
But we'll talk about the Tigers winning the home opening series against the Cardinals. It's actually the only one they've won this
right.
year.
I'm like, well, that's where the winning stops. So, yeah.
The Tigers they took 2 out of 3 over the weekend against the Cardinals, even got the bats going on Saturday, scoring 11 runs on 12 hits.
Yeah.
But overall, we're still lacking offensive consistency, haven't scored more than 3 runs since. Do you think the offensive woes are here to stay, are you assuming the bats will heat up eventually like they did last season? What say the people's champ?
You are who you are. They gotta get the personnel in here that can connect with the ball, period, and stop playing around with it. I am done with this. I don't want to see some of these guys anymore, and we're stuck with them for now. So I'm gonna just grin and bear it. Hope maybe it gets a little better as the if the weather gets a little more consistent. But I mean, you are who you are. Best thing that we can do early in the season is kind of take a note from the Pistons book, pile up some wins because we're in a dirtbag division.
I know.
And see if you can get some separation or at least stay as close to the top as possible, for wild card purposes. But, I mean, we are who we are at the plate, man.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, man.
Like, I'm not about to sit up here and sell myself any false hope. I mean, the kids nice, but I mean, that bum shit gets contagious after a while.
I mean, and also, baseball is the ultimate team game. I mean, he won't see any pitches if nobody else is hitting. That's
just be like, oh, okay, we'll walk, dude.
Exactly, yeah. Like they'll just pitch all around him. That's the other problem is that we got one hitter. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll just work all around the kid and make sure that he gets nothing to hit. And so,
I don't know how to feel about our three best consistent hitters right now being
I know Cole Keith,
Dylan Dingler, and Kevin
and
McConaughey.
the baby. Yeah, I know. I nephew, don't get me going, bro. We need a right-handed bat. I don't give a damn if we start scoring 10 runs a game. They better get me a right-hand bat in here at the deadline, man. They gotta we begged for a right-hand bat all off season and they ignored us. So. At any rate, I'm with the people's champ. I'm not about to give this too much time because there's too much season left, and they've played 11 games. They not about to run my blood pressure up every week talking about them. But they did win the home opening series, so I wanted to bring that up. It was opening day,
great opening day. Oh, it was epic.
Yeah, so I thought it was appropriate to at least give them a kudo for that, but. Yeah, I'm not about to stress myself out with the Tigers, man.
They are currently down 8-6 in the bottom of the eighth against the Twins.
At least they've scored 6.
Right.
Glass half full here. Man, I got like 3, like kind of rapid fire topics, man, because these are just some things that I randomly heard this week, man. We don't have to riff on them for too long, and I don't know if nephew got anything, but the Giannis situation, this came back up again. And, I heard a weird narrative. I got a different take I want to get your opinion on. Because I guess some people believe that if he made a demand, if he demanded a trade, if he came out and said, I want out of Milwaukee, that would somehow change the situation, that would somehow make the situation different. I have a hard time believing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but what say you? Am I missing something? Like, is a demand different? Does that make things more urgent for the organization?
Here's the thing. They should have been trading Giannis.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
They should have been trading Giannis. I mean, last offseason, we talked about it on here.
Yes, we did.
We knew what this was going to turn into.
Yes.
And here we are, the tire fire. Now you're getting investigated by the league. Glenn's hanging it up.
Right.
Giannis, which what we all knew is out of town probably the long way now.
Mm-hmm.
Where all you had to do was just have the come to Jesus meeting with everybody. Be like, okay, here's what we going to do. What is your wish list?
Right.
All right, we're going to get these teams on the phone. We're going to tell them, we're going to identify what we want off each one of these teams, and whichever teams come closest to what we got, we'll hit them with a counter offer, and then however close we get to that, that's where your ass is going.
We'll start negotiating.
And that's that.
Yeah.
All this other stuff, it has all just been foolishness.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's been self-inflicted. And to be honest, Milwaukee has been shooting themselves in the foot since they fired Bud.
Right.
Karma's a bitch. You don't fire a man in the middle of mourning the loss of his brother in the middle of a playoff series and then blame him for losing said series.
Yeah.
A year and a half removed from winning you a championship. Good luck with all of that.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. You know, that's an interesting take. I never thought about that, but you're right. Yeah, I agree, man. I don't have a lot to say on the Giannis thing. I pretty much agree with what you just said. This has dragged out too long. The asking price was likely too high for him. I think that's a big part of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the asking price is high.
It's hard to nail it with the injuries lately.
And how many of these blockbuster trades have resulted in a championship?
Right, for sure.
You know, that's the big. I think that's the big rub, is that teams are really weighing whether or not, you know, because I remember at the trade deadline, people like go out and get Giannis, and I'm like, and give up what? I'm not giving up Dern. I'm not giving up Cade. I'm not giving up Asar. So I'm not giving you none. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving you really none of my young pieces. I'm not giving you 5 first-round draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're going to give up Tobias, some bologna sandwiches, Javonte Green, and Paul Reed.
Right, yeah. Like, I mean, I might give you 2 or 3, but, I mean, Mikal Bridges got 6 for New York. So, like, Milwaukee looking at 2 or 3, and they got their nose in the air.
Right.
And see, I think that's the biggest part of the problem, is that the asking price is probably insane. They probably want 7 first-round draft picks.
Right.
And unless you got to cash your first-round draft picks like Oklahoma City, you're not willing to do that. And Oklahoma City is cool. They already a title contender.
Well,
why would they give up that many first-round draft picks and some players? Because you got to give some players in order to clear out that. They probably had to give up Chet. Why would they do that? Chet is younger. He's not as good as Giannis, but he's young. He gonna be there.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. I'm like, this has turned into a much larger problem, because when the situation was best to trade him, you instead went out and got Damian Lillard. You was like, you know what I'm saying? Let's try to put a Band-Aid on this 2-2-3 wound. You know what I'm saying?
And then it's like, and now, you know, you've backed yourself into a scenario with whoever gets Giannis, you really don't know what you got.
Right.
Because he hasn't played. And now we're going into, this will be year 3 with calf injuries.
Yeah. And what are you going to give up to get him?
Right. On top of all that. Now, what have you given up to get him?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm not. So,
like, if he's there, you know, you've already given up the war chest. But you don't know what you've got in return. You're spraying and praying.
Yep.
And this guy hasn't been able to physically screw his ability. We know what he can do in terms of when he's on the floor. But he hasn't been able to physically make a deep postseason run since 2022.
Oh, man, you're right.
So next year, that'll be going into year 5.
Yeah.
So,
Max Crosby. The Max Crosby situation is quietly very bizarre.
it ain't over.
No, he's still a Raider.
Right. I thought that's what I
Well,
mean.
no, man, I'm hearing draft day trade scenario. Oh, man.
Yeah, I thought they reverted back because of the, you know.
Yeah, no, but it's
and
a
then
whole.
I thought he posted, I'm a Raider, and that, you know, I thought he was.
No, man, it's all kinds of. It's a whole ecosystem around the Max Crosby situation. I guess I'll
you
peek
talking
in
about
on it.
all the prior pieces that went into that initial
No,
trade.
they still talking about trying to move him. There's still discussion about trying to move him.
And the Raiders are going to raid him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think ultimately, though, like we've talked about, I don't think that they're going to be able to get anything done. But that's a very strange situation now.
How do you resolve that? Like,
Yeah. I mean, like, how did he run back out the tunnel with a Raiders jersey? Like, that's a weird one.
that is wild.
But it's a
stuff.
lot of draft day trade talk, and you know, I just wanted to bring it up because it's one that we're gonna be keeping our eye on.
Yeah, because he's another guy in a real peculiar spot. You know,
Yes.
It's like when you talk about age,
Yep.
injury history versus
Salary Yeah.
versus. You know what you're going to get,
Yeah.
productivity wise, but it's how long
Correct.
and
Yeah.
the timing.
Yeah, that
You
part.
know.
And yeah, like, is it worth it? Like that,
Yeah.
because that's what happened with Baltimore. Baltimore backed out because they was like, we can get Trey Hendrickson for less money. And, you know, he about the same age. It's less money.
Right. Well, with Crosby, he's coming into camp nursing an injury. And
they was about to give him a big old extension, like Nephew said. Right. Like, they was about to make him the highest paid player at the, but like, nah, that's okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we'll spend that money elsewhere.
I'm cool.
Yeah. And then the last thing I got, man, is did you hear what Draymond said about tanking, about the penalty for tanking? Draymond said that he said the players are constantly fined. He was like, and he thinks that's the remedy for tanking. Harsher fines, basically said that successful men, are motivated by money. And he was like, the harsher fines is the answer. I was thinking about that. I actually agree in principle because if you look at it, the second apron basically fixed the super team thing. You don't see nobody calling each other like, let's meet in Miami.
Let's have a summit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, let's have a summit. Let's meet in Miami. You don't see any more.
Goofiest thing ever, man.
Yeah, you don't see no more delegations going to meet with KD, to bring him into
right.
Yeah, like all of that's dead.
The Hamptons.
Right, yeah. You don't see any more. The second apron basically fixed the super team thing. Like, you basically, so now, like the best teams are young teams that were built through the draft. Pistons, Spurs, OKC, good teams, young teams built through the draft. So my thinking was I would take it a step further because even really harsh fines, these NBA owners, they so rich, man. And these NBA franchises just make so, like, what you gonna fine them? 50 million.
Right.
My thing is, I'm like, man, hit the salary cap. The second apron thing got me to thinking. We catch you tanking, we take the full mid-level exception the first time.
Ooh.
Second time we catch you tanking, we take your max we take your first max extension. You can't give a max extension the next time. We take it out the salary cap instead of fining you. You want to be bad, you'll be bad till the Beatles get back together.
Man.
Yeah, like it. See, that's draconian. See, nobody will ever tank again. And if the NBA says we're going to have independent physicians and we're going to come and we're going to examine these players that you shut down on a long-term basis. If we examine Trae Young and we find that Trae Young is in fine physical shape and you've just shut him down, that's going to be a tanking violation.
Yeah.
First one is your full mid-level. If we examine Anthony Davis and we find out that he's fine, then, we'll take your max extension. We're going to take that right off the table. And if we catch you a third time, we taking a super max extension. You'll have no ability to sign a super max extension. So now your players are going to have to leave. I mean, maybe not that draconian, but something like that, like something very harsh where teams are like, yeah, if getting caught tanking is a no-go. Everybody healthy is going to have to play, period. So I like Draymond's train of thought, but I'm taking it a step further. We taking it right out the salary cap.
Yeah, you bleeding.
Yeah, oh yeah, we taking it right out the cap. Right out the cap. We're going to push you we're going to push you past the second.
I ain't mad at it, man, because the tank has got to stop because you look at what it's trickled down into now.
Yep.
It is just, all of this with the awards and the game requirements.
Yeah.
All of this has started and is a byproduct of the tanking.
Yep.
So something's got to be done. Somebody got to pay, damn it.
Yep. So yeah, I would have to flesh that out a little bit more, but I'm with Draymond. Yep, hit them in the pockets, hit them in the salary cap. We taking everything off the table. We gonna take all your free agent signing ability away. We gonna freeze your cap. Yeah, we gonna freeze that cap. We'll see how you like that. Then we gonna start taking draft picks. If you start playing with that, we'll start taking draft picks. We'll make you bad for the rest of your days. And people will stop tanking tomorrow. If you make the penalties harsh enough, people will stop tanking tomorrow, but you just got to have enough backbone to do it. That's how it's got to be. But that's all I got, man. You got anything, nephew?
First off, Rob Digi in the chat He commented the second apron punishes teams that develop great homegrown talent, in my opinion. So, and I think that's just in reference to
Yes.
just the money in general and whatnot. I think if they were to go that way, I think we would just end up with more processed air Sixers type tanking teams. I think teams that want to tank and want to plan out for their future and to try to maximize who they may be able to get in the draft, they'll just start putting out terrible teams of terrible sound talent of people who probably shouldn't even be in the league. I think at the end of the day, if there's a way to do it, teams are gonna find a way to tank.
I mean, yeah.
Because I think at the end of the day, a team will rather be downright bad than be the Miami Heat, which is consistently at the 7, 8, 9 seed, and you never going lower than that. You never really getting that chance at getting a generational superstar. You got to do it based more on talent, which I think should be committed and should be actually tried. But I think the path to least resistance is what people are always going to want to choose at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing about it is that, like, if you have good scouting, because the Spurs were good for 20 years. They had good scouting. They didn't have to get lottery. You don't have to get lottery picks in order to be good. The misconception is that, now, yes, okay, so they did get Tim Duncan, who was the number 1 pick, and I guess they maximized him for 2 decades, so maybe that's an unfair example, but they surrounded him with talent that, they didn't have to always have lottery picks.
And let's be real, they kind of tanked to get him.
Ain't no kinda, they did.
Well, no, I mean, but no, David Robinson got injured though, right?
And then once he got hurt, they said, "Yeah, bro, we're mailing it in."
But
he
got legitimately injured because it's the same thing with
Then with the Dominique Wilkins Spurs, dog. Oh man, ooh. Man.
And because it's the same thing with Kareem. Kareem just got hurt, and then that's how they got mad. That's how the Lakers got magic. Kareem got hurt. And yeah, I mean, and then the team stunk when you don't have, the best player in the NBA. I mean, the team is trash.
Yeah, I mean, the Indiana Pacers are going through it right now.
Yeah. And, so I think that, yeah, right. Exactly. That's what's going to happen with them. The Indiana Pacers' best player just got hurt. They not necessarily tanking.
They're getting 2 lottery picks next year, pretty much.
They stanking. You know what I'm saying? So, so sometimes, you are going to be bad. I mean, just like the Pistons didn't tank. We didn't tank to get Cade. We just stunk. We was a bad team. So I mean,
I encouraged tanking that season. That was the famous fade for Cade season.
That was the fade for Cade. But yeah, so I don't necessarily think that in order to be a quality franchise, you have to be bad. You don't have to be a horrible team. You can have one good player and build solid teams all the time, I guess is the point that I'm making. But no, I hear what you're saying, nephew. But the thing is that if you get caught tanking, and I guess they would have to create some predicates for tanking, they have to say this is blatantly considered tanking. If you shut down healthy players, then that's tanking.
Right.
If you got healthy players on the roster, if you got a healthy Trae Young on the roster and you just shut him down, because that's what's happening right now. Healthy players are not playing. Let's just say the quiet part loud. There are healthy stars that just didn't play the last part of the season. They were just shut down by their organizations. They're being paid money in the NBA to sit home or to not play basketball, which is preposterous. You got to do something about that.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
Paying players not to work that's no bueno. So, I'm with Draymond. You got to hit people in the pocket. You got to start poking at the salary cap. You got to start doing something to prevent that. And I kind of agree that the second apron was put in to prevent super teams. The byproduct of that has been that it does hurt teams that want to pay their own players. But it was done to prevent these super team-ups. And I think that by and large, that prevented that. But, yeah, what else you got now?
Just going back to last week's conversation we had on the Hall of Fame, I just wanted to get the whole class out there, just for the record's sake. So you got Amari Stoudemire, Doc Rivers, Mark Few, Joey Crawford, Elena Deladonna, Candace Parker, Shamik Holscar did get in. The 1996 United States Women's National Team that was mentioned earlier in the show got in, and Mike D'Antonio was also elected. So that is the full
Coach
class.
D?
Defense, schmeefense.
I was going to say. Wow. Mike Antonio is most appropriate because there was no D. But no, shout out to the class, and Shamika Holsclaw did get in. Finally, that's long overdue, man. She should have been in.
And then the last thing I had was about Angel Reese getting traded to Atlanta.
Oh, yes, I saw that. Yep. Yeah, shout out to Angel Reese, man.
So I wanted to just ask y'all thoughts about the move from a standpoint of broadening and growing the league's reach. Because even though Chicago is a top 3 market, I think Atlanta is a better fit for Angel.
I agree. I like that move. I like it from a cultural standpoint. I think she fits there culturally in the city of Atlanta. I like it.
And then the Chicago sky sucks, so, Cardoso, get out of there as soon as you can, baby girl. I feel for you.
And if there was 2 cities that I think that work for Angel, it's Atlanta, and then another thing that I forgot to mention last week. So with the Houston Comets coming back in the near future, I feel like those are the 2 cities that I feel like Angel could use to her advantage, and then by extension the league. So to see her in Atlanta and to know that she's going, because let's be real about it, Atlanta is Black Hollywood at this point.
Most definitely.
And so it's just from a culture, like you're saying, for a culture standpoint, and from what I think she'd be able to do as far as off of the court, getting people eyes on what's interested around her, and then by just osmosis, more people going to the games, because you see who go out to the Atlanta Hawks games, and you see who be sitting in the front row. Right. If the dream if the dream somehow becomes something to do in Atlanta on a weekday night, hey, let's go watch Angel, and then now you got the front row looking with a certain, like, you got certain hip hop stars and certain people in the Black community just sitting on your front rows. And I think it does something for the league.
Yep, I agree. I love it. No, I love it, man. I'm in the Angel Reese camp, man. I'm an Angel Reese fan. I like her. I'm definitely somebody who is on her team. I think she's good for the WNBA. I think she's one of the faces that has helped grow it. So, shout out to Angel and shout out to the WNBA. I think that's going to be a good marriage, her in that market. Is that all you got?
That's all.
All right.
This week, I ain't got much more.
Okay. All right. Well, we appreciate y'all for joining us, man, for another great week, another great show. Remember to continue to like, share, and subscribe. That is, Everybody Has the #1 sports podcast on YouTube. Everybody Has One spelled out sports podcast everywhere else. That's Instagram, that's Facebook, that's Twitch, that's TikTok, and that's Threads. The audio version of the podcast is available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure y'all tapping in with us there. When you subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that bell notification. And when you hit that bell notification, make sure you hit all so that you are notified every single time we post new content, new shorts, new videos, and, of course, every time we go live, which is every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, or as close as we can get to it. It'll be around here sometime. We appreciate the Everybody Has One family for tapping in with us. None of this is possible without the Everybody Has One family. Make sure y'all continue to watch those videos in their entirety. Make sure you're telling your friends, your family, your enemies, people you don't like, people online acting silly. Make sure you put it in the comment section. Share all of the content on your own personal pages. And when you see us go live, man, make sure you share the space on your personal pages so that you bring in more people under the umbrella. And we appreciate y'all so very, very much. And if there are topics that y'all want to hear us discuss, man, make sure y'all hit us in the direct messengers on one of those social sites. And we'll try to get those on for you. And keep interacting with us in the chat, man. Nephew will read them to us, and we'll try to get those questions answered. Again, thank y'all so much, man. We'll see y'all here again next week. Same time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, or as close as we can get to it. It's the Everybody Has One podcast. Peace.